So I think it was last year I was watching the Netflix documentary on the James Webb Space Telescope, which is a $10 billion project that took decades of work. And it's the telescope that NASA sent farther into space than anything we've ever built. There's this moment where NASA engineer Mike Menzel says something that I haven't forgotten since. Webb launched with 344 single point failures. And a single point failure is the kind of mechanism that has zero room for error. If it fails even once, the entire mission is over. No backup, no second chance, no fix coming. Nearly all 344 of those single point failures had to execute in the first 14 days after launch. Imagine that. 2 straight weeks where every gear, latch, hinge, motor, cable release, and unfolding step had to work perfectly. And if one thing misfired, the most ambitious telescope ever built, $10 billion and decades of work would have become space junk. But this is the part we don't talk about. Only 2 or 3 small anomalies happened, and none of them were mission ending. In other words, the most complex machine we've ever put in space survived a 14-day tightrope walk where the cost of failure was absolute. And it made me realize something about how we move through our own lives. We fear the wrong failures. We walk around as if every decision is a single point failure, as if one mistake destroys the mission, as if one wrong step collapses everything we've built, as if the stakes of our choices are equivalent to a telescope floating a million miles from Earth. But they aren't. Most of the things we're terrified of breaking aren't mission critical. They shake, they stretch, they hold. We rarely stop long enough to separate the things that truly break us from the things that only feel like they will. Look at your life through Webb's lens for a second. What are your actual single point failures? If they cracked or a screw became too loose, everything else would suffer. Your health, your relationships, your money system, your environment, your integrity. These are the few categories where failure is structurally expensive. Everything else is experimentation. Everything else is recoverable. Everything else is learning disguised as friction. That telescope survived 344 ways to die in 2 weeks. You can survive the handful of reversible mistakes standing between you and your next move. Because the truth is the opposite of what fear tells us. Most of your life is not a single point failure system. Most things aren't mission critical. Most mistakes don't break the mission. We fear the wrong failures. And once you stop doing that, everything gets easier to attempt because you finally understand what's actually at stake.